It's time for another collaboration! Hi everybody, I'm Babaloo, and today I have a very special episode, and it's special for two reasons. Number one, I'm doing a top 10 list. That's not very special. Well, I haven't done a top 10 list for a while, so it's a little special. But, most importantly, today's episode I'm doing a collaboration with Steampunkwatchman, and we are going to be doing the top 10 forgotten / obscure video game characters. And since you're all waiting in anticipation, let's get to the list. Number 10. Abe from the Oddworld series. Now the reason this guy is at number 10 is because he's actually having a remake that's going to be coming out fairly soon, so he's not exactly forgotten. So as you can tell from the picture that I so kindly provided, Abe is a weird dude. And just to confirm this statement, his fellow Madokans call him Stitch Lips, because he has stitches on his lips. They're clever like that. He's known as the messiah of his species, although a reluctant messiah, but those are the best kinds of messiahs. He's also just a really great guy and will liberate any life form that's being oppressed. You keep on fighting the fight, Abe. Number 9.
And moving on to number 9, we have the Prince from the Prince of Persia series. Now, Prince, or that son, if you go by that crappy excuse for a movie that Disney made. I'll probably be a picture somewhere that I'm gonna have to go spew on and kick that out of the frame. He's the youngest son of the Sultan, and he's adopted by him, as per the lore. He was the star of the original 1989 game Prince of Persia, a 2D puzzle platform released for computers such as the Apple II. It revolutionized it with their great animation and received fantastic praise on their wonderful puzzles and deadly traps you had to navigate. The real challenge of the game, however, was not lives and how many deaths, as you had infinite, it was time. The time, which is a central theme, however, in the entire franchise. The original trilogy, you were timed to get from point A, your beginning of the game, to point B, the end of the game, where you had to save the princess from the evil Jafar, the Vizier, who was basically trying to steal your kingdom. So the first 3 games stuck to the same general formula, only the 3rd game added 3D graphics and made the story slightly more complicated. After that, it seemed like the Prince of Persia series would be done for, until Ubisoft in 2013 picked it up and rebooted it in the Sands of Time trilogy. It expanded the lore, it gave the Prince of Persia not only all these super cool powers like slowing down time, stopping time, being able to freeze enemies. It added more combat mechanics, unlike the original games where combat was very minute detail. While it wasn't like a big time trial run, it was a fantastic game. However, since 2010, the last game that was made in this series, and that disgusting disgrace of a movie, there hasn't been really anything that the Prince has been in for about a good 5 years. So it seems he's gonna be stuck in this chronological state of his time slowing behind the rest of, which makes me really sad to see such a cool series go. It's like, Prince, I think it's time to move on.
Number 8. Qbert. What a funny looking guy, but very popular back in the day. You won't see any more Qbert games around today, but back in his day, his games were the 3rd most successful arcade games. That's really good, considering what he had to go up against. Unfortunately though, his games did not age well. Though he did make some appearances in some recent movies like Wreck-It Ralph and Pixels. But unfortunately even then, he wasn't exactly a big character, just there to sort of fill out the roster. Number 7.
Coming up next on the list is DJ Professor K from the Jet Set Radio series. This narrator of the Jet Set Radio series was pumping out some smooth beats for everybody who's part of the GGs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Jet Set Radio, and Jet Set Future, or Jet Grind Radio if you're in the United States, were a video game series by Sega where you play as a bunch of skaters within a game called the GGs. And you'd go around tagging your area in basically a gang war, and you'd have to go up against the cops in area. But basically, he was the guy that would, he's like the guy from Solid Snake, you know? You know, the annoying one who just doesn't shut up and he's like, Snake! No, he was like that guy, but cool, had great taste in music, and when you actually unlocked the guy, he was pretty badass. Anyways, he's voiced by a voice actor named Billy Brown, and he speaks directly to the characters. Even when he gets kidnapped, he still provides all the story progression, comic relief, and every time you enter a new stage, you hear his fancy voice saying, Jet Set Radio! So yeah, basically his backstory is Professor K was born in Jamaica. He was raised in New York City. He grew up on influences of funk, reggae, dancehall. He started as a DJ in the Bronx, but his private radio station in New York was extremely popular and hit with the underground. But he had to leave the state as the station was attracting too much attention from the feds. So he went to the most chillax place he could go, down to Tokyo, and that's where the games take place. Anyways, you can easily identify the guy in both games. In the original games, he's got wild black brown hair, gold nose ring, bright blue eyes, and a white jacket with gold K on his forehead. However, in Jet Set Radio, he's got shorter white hair, white goatee, and he wears a black top with some thin golden glasses. His K also turns red. Fantastic character from a fantastic series. Check him out. Let's see who's number 6.
Number 6. Earthworm Jim. Well, Earthworm Jim isn't exactly old, because I played his games when I was young. He is very weird. Earthworm Jim is an earthworm. Bet you didn't see that one coming. But an earthworm with a suit that can make him do things that normal earthworms just can't do. And equipped with his plasma blaster and some worm moves. Nothing will stand in his way to keep the suit for himself and save Princess What's-Her-Name. That's not me being lazy, that's her actual name. Number 5.
And at number 5, we have Sir Arthur from the Ghost and Goblins series. The main protagonist of the Ghost and Goblins series, which is owned by Capcom by the way, this brave red-haired knight goes into the depths of the demon realm to rescue his beloved princess Prin Prin. Relating themes from the previous ones? Perhaps. Anyways, she got captured by Satan and other demons in the game and you have to go save her. You know you're pretty badass when you have the gall to go after Satan. Anyways, his main equipment is the steel knight armor, which he loses when damaged. Literally, it's like it's made out of tin foil. You get hit once and you're down to your underwear. I have no idea why he keeps giving this blacksmith business. Anyways, his main weapon is the lance, which he's able to throw at a distance and take out enemies. Which you're gonna really need that distance, because they get near you, like I said, you're dead in 2 hits. He's come for a long way since his origins in the arcades. His most recent game being a remake of his original Ghost and Goblins, Ultimate Ghost and Goblins, for the PSP. Basically, it stuck to the same story and formula, all changes it being graphical, as he made the jump from 2D to 3D. However, he hasn't had really any, and I mean any, console releases since the SNES with his console game, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Since then, he's kind of been just shit out of luck. He's been stuck on mobile platforms, and he's only been stuck to appearances in fighting games such as Marvel vs. Capcom 3. In the other two, I mean, he was in the other two, but this was the only one he was a playable character in. So it seems the world has forgotten about Capcom's Mario, and it is a shame. You will be missed.
Number 4. Conker. Some of you might have seen my review of Conker's Bad Fur Day. Shameless plug. So you know that I love me some Conker. Though unfortunately he isn't super well known. And after only having one game, that's right, there was only one game. There wasn't. No! There was only one game. Conker was originally planned to be a nice fluffy squirrel, but then Rare decided that they had too many nice fluffy characters, so they wanted to do something different. He became a crude mouse such and such, and I love it. And though I may value him very highly, not everyone does. Number 3.
And number 3, we have yet another Sir Daniel Fortescue. Sir Daniel, the main protagonist of the medieval, it really depends on how you want to say it. It's been voiced by 3 different guys, Jason Wilson in the original and the remake, Mark Silk in the second, and Stephanie Cornicard, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. in the PlayStation's version of Smash. But basically, the story goes, for years, Dan was regaled the nobles of Gallowmere with tales of slain dragons and vanquished legions. The king was so impressed he made Dan a knight, and appointed him to the head of the royal battalion. Of course, it was always only an honorary post. I mean, Gallowmere had never really seen war in centuries, and I mean centuries. But then, in 1286, the evil sorcerer Zarok returned from years in exile. Embittered and filled with wrath, he threatened to unleash an army of demons that he built using the darkest magics. The king was desperate and in need of a hero, and he knew exactly who he wanted. Daniel was dragged from his bed and thrust in front of the king's army to face the undead horde. The battle commenced, but within seconds, Sir Daniel fell to the ground, struck in the eye with the very first arrow that was flung loose. His wound proved fatal, and his army was left to continue the fight without him. Embarrassed by Dan's poor show, the king, realizing people needed to feel safe, declared that Fortescue had died in mortal combat, seconds after slaying the sinister wizard. A hero's tomb was erected, and history books inscribed him with tales of valor. Well, that was the story before the game, as you actually end up playing as him in his undead state. A few years later, it turns out Zarok returns, and he brings up his undead army. However, since Sir Daniel kind of died, he's brought up back too, and he is the only one who's able to defend his country. Although cowardly, he is honorable, and does his best, as this lanky skeleton who's missing some sort of depth perception is the only type of hero they're gonna get. He ends up succeeding, and then 500 years later is brought back again by a protege of Zarok. And then he kicks that guy's ass too in the Victorian era. Since then, there hasn't been really much buzz about him since the remake 2005, and he only recently made an appearance in the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, or PlayStation Smash, on the PS3 when it released in 2012. Sadly, however, the lovable, cowardly skeleton has been resting, awaiting his next adventure in battle. And I desperately hope it comes soon.
Number 2. Daniel Garner. Daniel Garner died. Oh, okay, well, I guess I just stop here then. I'm just kidding. This is a video game after all. Daniel and his wife were tragically killed in a car crash, and while his wife ascended to heaven, he was neither worthy for heaven or hell, so he stayed in purgatory for 30 years. He was embodied by the angel Samael and worked for the forces of good, in hopes of one day earning a spot in heaven. So he had to take on the forces of hell, which is not an easy thing to do. But the thought of being with his wife again is what keeps him fighting. Ooh, that was kind of depressing. I hope number 1 is a lot funner. Take it away. Number 1.
And number 1, we have Dr. Muto from Dr. Muto. You probably figured that out. Dr. Muto was a 2002 platforming video game developed and published by Midway. The main character, Dr. Muto, was a mad scientist who built a machine that would provide free and renewable energy for his home planet of, coincidentally, Midway. However, the machine was sabotaged by Muto's rival, Professor Bernadal, causing it to malfunction and destroy the planet. Yeah, he kinda screwed up really bad. Dr. Muto and his laboratory survived. They were like legitly the only thing that survived. And now, Dr. Muto plans to build a machine called the Genitor 9000 that will rebuild Midway. However, the pieces necessary to assemble and run the machine are scattered across a number of neighboring planets and must be collected. There are 4,250 isotopes and 86 bits of Terra, and they are all needed to complete the game. With his assistant, Al, which you can probably guess, the AI, it's based off the AI Hal, to guide him, he must destroy all the SOBs, the servants of Bernatal, to rebuild his world. Basically, Dr. Muto, he's like a Jimmy Neutron grew up, and we got a really raunchy sense of humor. He's funny, he's dirty, he's got some really cool mechanics, like he's able to morph into, I believe we're gonna have a picture of one of them morphs somewhere around here. He's able to morph into a gorilla, a spider, a fish, a mouse, and a few others, and I'm not gonna be able to show them all, because sadly they don't have all those screenshots on the internet. It wasn't very super popular game. Great game, diamond in the rough, and I'm sad that there's only the single game. A lot of fun, a lot of cool areas, and if you enjoy a little bit like B-movies, B-sci-fi movie type humor and stuff, yeah, this game's definitely for you. That's it, so I'm gonna hand it over to Babaloo as he'll close out this video. So, back to you, my man.
Alright, that's our list of the top 10 forgotten / obscure video game characters. I want to say a very big thank you to Steampunkwatchman for working with me. And because this is a collaboration, there's a video of us on his channel. He does a segment called Channel Chats where he just talks to YouTubers. I'll put a link right here and one down in the description, so you can go there, check out that interview, and the rest of his videos. He's got some really great stuff. So if there's anybody that you think we missed on this list, put it down in the comments and we can discuss. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to. It really helps out a lot. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Now before you guys leave, why don't you go ahead and click on that subscribe button right there, right on the screen. Just click on it and then you can get notified anytime a new video comes out. Also on the screen here, I'm showing you a couple of my older videos. Just click right on them and they'll take you right to them. I really recommend you check them out. And also if you like this video, click that like button. And you guys can also follow me on all my social medias. I'm on Twitter @Babaloo. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Babaloo. I'm on Tumblr, Babaloo. Yeah, I know, I get really creative with my social media names. And finally, thank you guys for sticking around to the end, and thanks for watching.